What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 23 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I have for you guys a league game against one of our big rivals in this competition, St. Joseph's FC. Hopefully we can get a good result today. Since the last episode, a fair few games to tell you guys about. If you missed last episode, it was the Senior League Cup quarter-final, I do believe, against Glasgow United. And as you can see, since then we've played a few games. We've not played as many as perhaps I expected. We've played 5 league games in all, and all in all, a fairly good run of results. The first result, however, was anything but that. We lost to Britannia, the team bottom of the table, 1-0. That was really bad. That was the first game where we've not scored all season, and I mean, if we just look at the division, Britannia, second from bottom. To lose to them, pretty inexcusable if you ask me, but with the exception of that, these results have been fairly pleasing. You'd have to admit, just looking through these results, defensively, there is perhaps a few questions to be asked of us. We've conceded in all of these games that we've played since last time, but one of the big silver linings to all these results has been this guy here, Lee Robson. Now, he's a player who I played last game, and I mentioned the fact I'd given him a few games and he'd impressed me. This guy is looking absolutely insane. He has 5 goals, 3 assists and 3 player of the matches in 7 games as a professional footballer. He's already become a fan favourite, which is crazy. The fans have a great affinity towards him. He's a player who started at our academy. To be honest, I didn't really give him a chance the last few years. He's kind of been sat, I've been training him away, thinking, well, maybe he'll have his day someday. And the 18-year-old is certainly having his day at the moment. He's been fine. And as you saw there, we beat Gibraltar United 5-1. A really good result there. Connolly also getting a goal as well as Sanchez Rule. The next result against Glasgow United, a fairly tricky league tie, but of course we did beat them in the cup just a few games prior. And in this game, another really good performance. Lee Robson again though, 2 goals made the difference. We went a goal down in the 15th minute, we bounced back immediately. We ended up winning 2-1, a really, really good result there. Was delighted with the impact that Lee has had on the team since he's come in. The next result, one that we will look at the goals for, because this was a crazy game. We won against Manchester 62 FC 4-3. Manchester 62, of course, one of the bigger teams in Gibraltar, I think it's fair to say. One of the teams who were fairly big when we first started the save and still remain a potential title rival. They're a team who have some quality, and in this game they showed that they had some quality. It was a pretty crazy game, this one, but as you see there, Robson threading through Peachman, who I believe worked it round nicely. I think it was Robson who scored the first goal here. Glenn Gilbert whipped in, yeah it was, back post. And Robson was there for a pretty standard finish. We get a lot of those finishes with our system. I think it's having our wide mids on attack playing narrow. They seem to do a good job, particularly when the ball's on the opposite flank, of actually getting into the box. Anyway, as you can see, at half-time it was just 1-0, and this is where the game really kind of sprung into life. Manchester 62 getting a goal in the 55th minute to make it 1-1, and from here things got a little bit crazy. Robson with a cross whipped in. And I do believe this was our goal here to make it 2-1. It was indeed. It was Ben Connolly, the pacey striker, top goal scorer in the league. He's averaging more than a goal a game, I do believe, at the moment. Very nice finish there on the volley. Fantastic ball in by Hernandez. You'll see he's lost his beard. He's got rid of the beard. And also Peachman's grown his hair back. He's now not got the short hair. I wish my players would stop changing their haircuts, but alas, they don't care about me and my feelings and how I think about them. But anyway, 2-2 it now went. 75th minute, bear in mind this was. And it was getting a little bit mad at this point, wasn't it? And as you'll see here, there was another goal. There was another to be had. This one in the 84th minute to make it 3-2 to Manchester 62. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. This time, Cole down the right-hand side whipped it in. And it didn't come from that goal, Jack. Wake up. How did this goal happen? I genuinely can't remember this goal. I think I was that angry about the goal, I just forgot about it. Oh wait, no, it was our goal. What am I on about? I'm going crazy. We went 4-2 up and then conceded late on. It was Peachman with the goal and he got another a few minutes later. That's what happened in this game. We kept getting pegged back. For some reason I thought they took the lead 3-2 and then we pegged it back. That's not true at all. You may notice Sabari, our former goalkeeper, is in net. We have had a few players leave the club over this season, and I don't think I really covered the players who left at the start of the year. Not that there was any major ones, but it's probably worth going over them. So we'll do that in just a second. And there's actually a little bit of an interesting kind of storyline going on, and that is with Lee Fenley, who was at one point our centre-back. He was a player who retired with us. We'll cover him now because it's kind of interesting and I'll probably forget otherwise. But Lee Fenley, our former kind of centre-back, has now become the Lincoln Red Imps Football Club manager. A bit of a traitor here. If we look at his career stats, you can see he played for us for 3 years, never really had a massive impact, but the 33-year-old has landed himself a job in management, and if I'm honest, I'm a little bit annoyed. I wish we could sign him away from Lincoln Red Imps. And yeah, it's a little bit annoying that. I'm a little bit sad that he's left us. Looking at Lincoln Red Imps, they are struggling in the Segunda division. They are currently 4th, which is a little bit underwhelming, you'd have to say, for them. A team who you'd probably back to do fairly well. Anyway, in terms of the transfers on the outside, as I mentioned, there have been a few. I'm not going to go through them all, because a lot of these were just players who were on youth contracts, players who came through the youth academy, got to 18. My assistant automatically offered them a £25 a week contract. They were filling up the reserve and under 21, so I let a lot of them go. But a few of the more notable names to mention that have gone out. Warren Bright left us on a free halfway through last month. He decided he wanted to play first team football. I can't blame him. He's gone to Magpies in the Segunda division. Hopefully he can have an impact there. He did really well for us, of course, when we were in the Segunda division, and I do back him to get a fair few goals for them. A few other players who left earlier on in the year that I didn't really talk about. Danny G left on a free. Not a player who obviously played that much for us. He played 11 games in total and scored 1 goal. Right now he's playing for Britannia in the Primera division. He's only got 1 goal to his name at the moment. And elsewhere, I don't think there's been any kind of fan favourites leave the club, I think it's fair to say. We've not done a lot in terms of business this year. We have got a few players who will be joining us, or have joined us in fact, in January. And the first one here is Richard Thompson, a player from Lincoln Red Imps. Just a good young striker, might have some potential about him. We brought him in on a free transfer, which is nice. You can see he played a fair few games for Lincoln Red Imps in the Primera division. Didn't really have an impact for them, but who knows, we might loan him out to get him some experience and he might improve enough to become a first team player, I guess, for us. The other player we signed was Duncan Birch, again from Lincoln Red Imps, again on a free. He's a player who's actually played a lot of games for them over the years, and I was pretty happy to get this guy to come in. He's 18, he's played for Gibraltar's national team, and who knows, down the line he might get a few more appearances at the club if he develops enough. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on in the squad. In terms of the actual team itself, obviously there's not been that many games since the last episode, but to be honest, I'm pretty pleased with kind of the direction the team is moving in, how we are playing at the moment. It's really nice to have breakthrough players like Lee Robson come into the side, because it gives me a little bit to think about. At the moment, for example, Kadrian Drimmy is a little bit discontent at the lack of first team football, but he's just not got a space in the squad. Griffo's playing really, really well this year with 5 goals and 7 assists. It makes it incredibly hard to drop him. I mean, to be fair on Drimmy, he's not played badly when he's played, but when you look at his average rating compared to other players, granted he's not had that much of a chance, but I think it's fair to say that there are players more deserving, I guess, of starting in the team ahead of him. Anyway, I think this is the team we are going to go with for today's game. We'll have to bring in Bonavias just so we have a centre-back on the bench, but with the exception of that, that's a pretty strong team. I feel like I might bring in Danny B as well, just because we do need we do need a centre mid on the bench. So let's take a look at our team. We've not done kind of a little rundown of the squad lately, but this is what I consider to be my strongest starting 11 at the moment. In goal we go with Felix, the Spanish goalkeeper. Is still getting interest from abroad. We had a bid of £500 for him, which quite frankly was a joke, and I rejected it immediately. You can see there's a few teams, or there is only one team now from Liga Adelante actually interested in him, but there were a few teams earlier on in the year kind of eyeing him up as a potential player. I think the fact I want a few million for him is kind of putting him off, but fair play to Felix. He's not kicked up a fuss about me not letting him go, and I'm hoping we can keep hold of him because he seems pretty loyal. Anyway, the back four for today's game, we're going to go with Glenn Gilbert, our kind of resilient and resolute left back, a player who's been at the club for a while now. He's having his best season really at the moment. 7.82 average rating at the moment in the league. Centre back we go with Captain Guerrero, very, very talented centre back, a player who's been at the club for a number of years now. Not played quite so much football this year, has had a few injuries to contend with the addition as well of a few new centre backs. It's meant that he hasn't necessarily been first choice all the time, but when he has played very, very well, as his average rating implies. Alongside him we go with Ballester, another really talented centre-back. This guy, of course, joined us on a free last year from Britannia. He's done very well again this year. He's not got a goal to his name yet. I want him to surpass last year's goal tally of 1. Got a little bit of time still to do that. And at right-back, we do go with Reyes. He's back and he's match fit, and he is our first choice right-back when he's match fit. And you can see for him, he's got 1 goal in 4 appearances. He's still got a little bit of a point to prove, though. I am still, very much in kind of thinking hard about whether or not Peter Morgan is the long-term solution to the right-back area, just because he's played so well for us. Kind of in that position, it feels like it would be a little bit harsh to drop him in favour of Reyes just because Reyes has been at the club longer. Anyway, midfield, we go with Griffo out on the left. He's having another really good season. At centre mid, we go with Tristan Sargent and Hernandez, of course. Tristan doing really well, 22 years old. Just a very talented centre mid, really, at our level. Not the most rapid, but he does a job for us, and you can see that he's one of the players who's been here since the very beginning, and he's always performed, and he's having another really good season for us this year. And alongside him, Hernandez, again, another player having a very good year. Kind of was, for the first season we brought him into the club, a right mid. Towards last season, he kind of transitioned into this new centre kind of playmaker role, and you can see this year he's been playing that primarily. And he's got 3 goals and 4 assists, and he has his best average rating so far for a season this year after 12 games played. Right mid, we go with Robson. Keep an eye out for him in today's game. The new youngster really had a massive impact at the club since he kind of broke into the first team. An 8.58 average rating after 7 games. And then up front, we're going to go with Ben Connolly as our poacher. He has 16 goals in 12 games. Fantastic for him. 3 more goals this year, and he will surpass his best ever goal tally in a season. He currently has 49 in 66 for the club. That's a pretty decent return, if I might say so myself. And last but not least, we of course have Peachman, who's playing very well again this year. He's been a little bit plagued with injury of late. If we look at it, he was out with a bruised rib, and he also had a thigh strain. So that's a little bit of concerning news, I guess. I hope that's not going to be something that's going to impact him too much, because when he's fit, this guy plays very well for us. He's got 7 goals and 2 assists in 9 games, 7.89 average rating, and similarly to Connolly, he just needs 3 goals to surpass his best ever goal tally in a season. So anyway, looking at St Joseph's FC, they are the team second in the league at the moment. If we just look at their schedule, you can see they're on some fairly good form. They did lose to Gibraltar Lions, who recently have really surged up the league. You can see they are currently in 3rd place. So that's worth keeping an eye out on them. They are a newly promoted team, of course. Looking at it here, both ourselves and St Joseph's are the last teams to play in kind of game week 14 of the league. So once we played this game, everyone will have played the same amount of games. Right now, we are 6 points clear of St Joseph's. A win today, halfway through the season, would see us move 9 points clear, which would be a really good position to be in. And I'm hoping that is what we are going to do today. So we'll see how we get on. In terms of the January transfer window, with the exception of those few youngsters I brought in from Lincoln Redimps, there hasn't really been too much going on. Regen Day's coming up, so I'm hopeful. You know, there might be a few like gems either that generate at our club or, you know, at other Gibraltarian clubs. I've been keeping an eye out on them. I'm looking for the next Ben Connolly, really. You know, young Gibraltar players who are just going to play regular first team football, who are going to perform very well. And I'm hoping, you never know, that we might be able to get our hands on one, and someone who can really strengthen the squad. If I had a choice, kind of, I guess, of where I'd want a regen, it would probably be, I don't know, maybe a centre mid. A centre mid would be very nice. I know that this now sounds really suspicious if miraculously I get a really good centre mid appear. Obviously, I have the editor turned off for this save before someone even utters those words. But yeah, I feel like a centre mid would be nice. I know we have Hernandez and Tristan Sargent, but there isn't kind of a super standout centre mid, and having someone who can really create chances for us would be great as well. We go down in this game. We really do need someone to create chances now. Clinton with the goal there. Ball whipped in by McCarthy. I assume that is their left back. To the back post. There's a lot of men there. Keeper perhaps should do better. He kind of gambles on it. Felix, you've let me down there, but Glenn Gilbert got to track his man a little bit better at left back. Looking at the stats early on in this game, St Joseph's having a little bit more possession, but after 20 minutes, not too many shots and not too much action to tell you guys about. Hopefully we can bounce back in this game as we do have the ball here. Felix going to spread it out wide to Griffo. Peachman on ahead, ambitious ball but intercepted, and now we need to defend our centre mids. Getting a little bit close together there. I want them to spread out. I want them to not kind of go chasing after the ball. We do, however, have the ball again with Felix, who's going to kick it out wide to Griffo, who nods it down, back out wide to Griffo. Options in the centre. Sargent, Gilbert, this is a nice play. Connolly is there. It's in. What a goal that is. A fantastic passing move. A lovely ball whipped in by Glenn Gilbert. And I'll tell you what, Connolly was there to bury it, and that is a very nice goal. Tristan Sargent, little dink over the top. Glenn Gilbert whips it in, and Connolly heads it, and it hits the crossbar and goes in. What a goal that is. 22 minutes in, we peg St Joseph's back. We are, of course, at home for this game. This is a game that I guess I expect us to win. We of course did beat St. Joseph's in the Pepe Reyes Cup at the start of the year 5-1. Since then, however, we have drawn in the league against them. I believe that was 1-1 on that occasion. We might concede here though. We need to defend. We need to defend, and we have not defended. That was absolutely atrocious. Leon Clinton with the goal at his mercy in the box, and wow, we've gone ball watching. We've gone ball chasing as well as much as anything. Look at that. That is awful. Awful defending, and Clinton capitalises on it. St. Joseph's going to take a goal right before half-time, and that is like a dagger through my heart here. I'm going to tell the players that is just simply not good enough. Show a little bit of desire, boys. Where is the passion? Do it for the fans, please. Right, we'll see how we get on here. Looking at the stats, they've probably been the better team. I almost want to change our system now. I almost want to change and go very... You know what? We're going to change it. We're going to go attacking. Why not? Let's go for it. I feel like this is a game where we just need to go and attack. I'm also going to bring on Kadrian Drimmy out on the left. Right. Changing to the Waitakere formation. We've been dominated with our 4-4-2, and when this happens, I like to fall back onto our Waitakere tactic. I find that it certainly helps us in these kind of games, and hopefully it can help us again here. I'm going to tell the players that they need to encourage. I need to encourage them. There's 15 minutes left in this game, and we are still a goal down. There is going to be a chance here, however. Felix with the ball. Can we build from the back? This is how our goal highlight started. Up to Robson, finding space out on the right. Runs down the line. Inside to Tristan Sargent. Hernandez, Connolly, Hernandez. Lovely play. Drimmy, Kadrian, finish it. He hits the side netting, and that would have been a really nice goal after a really nice move. However, it remains 2-1, and it looks like we could be on course for our second defeat of the season, which would be pretty darn disappointing. This is a game that... You'd have to say, since we made that tactical change, we've definitely been better, but, I mean, there hasn't been any chances. We've not created enough, and ultimately that is going to be our downfall here. We're going to lose the second game of the year. The lead at the top is going to drop a little bit as well, with St. Joseph's winning this game. That's disappointing. What can I say? That almost makes me a little bit angry to see this kind of result. We've not played badly, but we've just not showed up here. We've not created enough. By our own standards, to only score 1 is pretty darn disappointing, and it's a problem that we've had a little bit of late, you know, not necessarily scoring goals, but just conceding a few too many. Going to tell the players how it is. I'm not happy with that. St. Joseph's closed the gap on us to 3 points. They have got a lot worse goal difference. You can see they've scored 21, conceded 14. We've scored 41, conceded 13. So that is almost an extra point, I guess, to consider. But all in all, just to be only 3 points clear is bitterly disappointing. But you know what? If you told me that we were going to be in this position, I'd be pretty happy. Obviously, a bit of a 6-pointer today, and at the end of the day, we've lost 6 points. We could have pulled 9 points clear. Instead, we find ourselves only 3 points clear at the top of the table, and that is a little bit concerning. Anyway, guys, in terms of when I'll be back for the next live com, I'm not entirely sure. We have got the Senior League Cup. I don't think I'm going to do that game. It might be the Glasses United game. It might be the next St. Joseph's game. Either way, hopefully I'll see you guys for the next live com. If you've enjoyed this video, as always, please do smash the like button. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.